Is it recording? Is it? I'm actually a bit nervous actually today because Tiff's not here.
It's gone.
McGee's shit in his pants.
I have a little bit. I'm definitely going to have to read off what the process is today.
Yeah, don't forget the introduction. Yeah.
Don't say too much.
Give me the mic. You're the guest.
All right then. We are super happy today because we've made it to episode 4. So welcome to Pinnacle Performance Pod. This is episode 4, Village Boy to Pro Footballer. Today we are missing Tiff, so I'm replacing Tiff today, which is super cool. I have been nervous about this all week. So,
well, we haven't got anyone to keep you on the straight and narrow this week, have we?
No, absolutely not. No, and obviously we have our favourite Ross, and we are joined by Mr. Dean Faithful.
Thanks for having me. Hello. Familiar spot for me. It's familiar.
The Pinnacle Performance Pod is our official podcast from Pinnacle Performance, a space to share real stories, coaching wisdom, mindset shifts, and everything in between. It's not about shouting over the other, well, maybe sometimes. It's all about honest conversation, practical insights, and building a strong community inside and outside the gym. We all start the first thing off, don't we? We all start about learnings, didn't we? And Dean walked in earlier and he was like, Dean, we have to talk about learnings. That's what we do on the podcast. Didn't prep you at all. So have you got a learnings for the week?
I think so. I've been home for a week now. Trying to think what I've learned. Been so busy, I don't think I've learned anything. But the reason I'm actually home is because thinking about coming back more permanently. So I'm thinking about, at my age now, as an old fucker. Can I say that?
You can say that. It's fine.
As
no
an
problem.
old fella, what's important to me? Because probably for 20 years I've been really selfish with my own career and life in general. So now, actually, this week I've realised that what's important to me is my circle of people.
Yeah.
And it actually makes me happy. I'm at peace at home because everyone goes, "Why do you want to move back? Why move back to England? You come from America and you've been Florida and Colorado." But I actually love being home, and it's because of my circle of people. And I think that brings me peace. So I've learned that this week, that actually, if I did move home more permanent, I'd be at peace with it.
Biggest difference between living in the States and here? I mean, I've been over a few times, and I know quite a few Americans, but what would you say, having bounced forward and back for how long now?
20 years since
20
I
years
first
forward
left.
and back. It's a lot, mate.
Yeah.
It's a lot. What would it be?
You think you're a gypsy.
I'm a bit of a gypsy.
I think he actually is.
Don't call me gypsy.
What would you say?
Sheer size of it is obvious. Like, you go over there and everything's huge. I feel like I think when Americans come here, they're surprised at how small and shit things are. And I mean that in a good way. It's like, but it's authentic. Do you know what I mean? It's us, it's British, it's English, it's what it is. But when you're over there, everything's a bit newer, a bit flashier, a bit easier to get around.
For sure.
You've got everything you need, convenience. Whereas here seems like, I don't know, so it's different in that way. Probably the biggest difference. Like, I know so many people at 16 had new Mustangs and new Hummers. Yeah. You know, my first car was for 300 quid and it was a Fiesta. It was had a choke. You had to start. I mean, it's the differences in that. I think there's a lot more money out there, and they just live it differently.
That's fine. Ross is going to say, what you've been prepped. So what's your learnings this week?
Well, before I get into mine, I just want to flag up Dean's fiance over there that laughed at the "everything over here is small and shit" joke. She's now pretending to ignore me.
Wait.
But my learnings this week are more they're negative again. So I'm going to go down a positive route and actually do a little plug for a class that Steph, one of the other coaches here, and myself are going to fire up in August, if that's all right with you.
You can do whatever you like, mate. It's learnings. It's fine.
Okay. So we're going to fire up a class. We're going to call it August Athletics. It's really designed to fill in the gaps between kind of weight training and conditioning and just get people moving again. A little bit out of the box, sort of thinking, you know, a bit of plyo-based stuff, a bit of running involved as well. Sort of geared towards the person that is either lost sort of athletic ability they once had or wish they had athletic ability, to sort of get them put them down, start them down that road. Probably be geared towards midday-ish, Tuesday, Thursday, tenner a session. Be there or be square. There will be more info, obviously, going live soon on socials and whatnot, but that's kind of where we're at with it at the moment.
Yeah.
So
I think my learnings this week is something quite close to my heart. Is there's a lot of, if you speak to a lot of people that talk about investments and what you should invest in yourself and what you should do, and one of the subjects came up was buying a house, owning a house, and that you shouldn't do it basically, and you shouldn't invest your money somewhere else.
Really?
And that you'll spend like 15, 20 years paying the interest off before you start paying the house off. But there's something to be said, isn't there, for actually knowing that you can always go back to a house that you own, and not be moved on. And that's my learnings.
That's a pretty big learning, yeah. Tent in the woods, then, is it?
No, and that's cool. I think at the end of the day, life isn't perfect, is it? Isn't it? And I don't have any regrets in my life. But if I could rewind something, I think it's good to invest and put your money places, whatever it may be. Have a good time, get things off your chest. I definitely was stupid when I was younger. I was in the army, wasn't very educated that well, and I did various different things. But putting into a house would have been something I would have done.
I think that's. Oh, here we go. Sorry, mate. Thank you. I was just going to say, like, as three men here, speaking from a man's point of view, I think I want to own. I'd like to own a house because then it's mine, and that's my area to protect. Going back to like caveman thinking,
caveman there,
that's
mate.
very caveman, yeah. But I think there's something to that too. I mean, that's mine. That's my house. If you rent somewhere, it's not always yours. It's like, so eventually ideally you do want that piece that's mine, and I'm going to protect it. I'm going to put a fence around it, and everyone else can.
Oh, the reason why we went down that route is because I have such a large family. with renting, you can bounce, can't you? You can bounce. You can move on within a year or whatever you've done, and you can then go to somewhere bigger and go down that route. It is quite hard to buy a 2-bed, then you need a 3-bed, then you've got to buy, and then you're in a chain, then it becomes complex, doesn't it? It's not say there's one's right and one's wrong, but there does come a point where you think to yourself, I need to sort of stick myself somewhere, and like you say, feel like you've got your own pad.
Yeah, I've heard about the things you're talking about, where you rent and then you invest the difference. Yeah. So let's say your rent is cheaper than your mortgage, and then you invest that extra change you'd have, you invest that, right? Yeah. And then over 20 years, you've got way more money than you would.
Yeah, of course.
In equity in a house, but
yeah, and it compounds over time, doesn't it?
But yeah, own a house. Yeah.
Well, today is episode 4, and obviously it's Village Boy to Pro Footballer, so I really can't wait for this. So for the next sort of period, we're going to talk about Dean going.
Is that Village Boy or Village People? Just want to get that one clear. It's Village Boy. Okay, carry
on. We're going to talk about Dean. We'll just freestyle a little bit here because you have a very interesting life. Going from playing football with Sholing, obviously they're just up the road, pretty good local team, aren't they? To making it as an American football kicker. Now, where do we start? Firstly, let's start at Sholing. What happened there? How did you get to playing for Sholing, and what happened?
Yeah, I wasn't a brilliant footballer or soccer player. I was all right. I was just tackled, and back in the time when you could tackle and smash a ball 50 yards and have a career out of it. But yeah, sort of got into Sholing just before I went to university. I was there at like 16, 17, and then 18, 19 went to Florida Tech. But yeah, just wanted. I always played for Hedge End Rangers, like the local crap teams, and then I found my way to Sholing, which was actually a good, really good standard. And then that pushed me to, and I ended up getting we'll call it soccer for the point of this podcast, right? It's ended up getting a soccer scholarship in Florida. So that was my transition from Sholing to Florida Tech. So I did 4 years, and that was with Smithy. Me and Big Dan moved over.
Yeah. How do you get from that point of like Sholing and knowing that you can kick a ball? I mean, there must have been a point where someone's shown you, or you've just gone, oh, that looks really cool.
Oh, to be fair,
because it's very specialist, isn't it?
At that point, it was still football, still soccer. Okay. So I actually so we can fast forward this. I had like 8 years of playing AL football.
Yeah.
So I had a football scholarship in Florida, then went and played in Australia for a year, Costa Rica, Belgium, Trinidad and Tobago. So I did a bit of a journeyman in our football. Got into my 30s, and then was like gonna retire. Was gonna chill out. And then kicking came along because I was in Florida with a old football coach, soccer coach, and he got a text from a football coach saying, "Do you know any kickers?" So he literally turned to me and said, "You'd be a good kicker."
Oh, really? Just like that?
I was 33 years old. So I sort of, what do you mean? He's like, "You've got a leg. You'd be like decent at it." Anyway, so we got chatting. Next thing, he's texted me saying, "Do you want to go on a trial tomorrow?" I said, "Mate, I've got a flight to London." He said, "Well, it's up to you. Be there or not." So I cancelled my flight to London, went to the trial.
Wow, yeah.
Then got offered a scholarship to do my master's degree and play American football as a kicker. So I was really raw at that point, but I'd never kicked an American football, but I had a go and I'd done well.
So you got a scholarship for something you hadn't done?
I never thought about it in my life. Yeah. Just on the spot, the coach went, "We'll teach you the rest." He goes, "I've never seen someone kick it so far and hard." He's like, "Oh, we'll teach you the rest." So that was.
Oh, so they so there was something there. It wasn't like
there was
random.
like a
You said
natural talent. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, but I had no idea what I was just kicking it. You know what I mean? Like, which is the skills transfer. But yeah, he said, "We'll teach you the rest."
So
And
just
that
to
was
put in perspective, kicking, what distances what distances do you kick on average as a kicker in American football?
In a game, your range is anywhere from 20 to 50 yards.
50 yards. So what,
But
half a
then-
football pitch?
Yeah. It's probably where you want to be really consistent. And then the best kickers can go back to 65, 70. I think the record in the NFL is 66. But these kickers can kick further. They can hit 70-yarders. Just in a game, you would never do it. You know, you try and get further down the field.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say your range is about 70, 75 yards if you really smash it. No wind in the face. Sort of thing.
So you've got you're doing your masters. You learned to be a kicker.
Mm-hmm.
What period? How long? What was the time frame between you getting actually a professional contract? Because you played professionally, didn't you?
Yeah. So I graduated with my masters. Played my 2 years as a kicker at Colorado State. University Pueblo is the full name. And then I gave myself a year to go pro. I was 34. I'd been the oldest player in university football at that point, historically. Oh, wow. So that was a bit strange. But I said, right, I'm going to give myself a year. If it doesn't happen, hang your boots up and be an adult. You know what I mean? Grow up, because you're going to be 36, 35 the next year. And it was actually a year to the date, pretty much, I got signed. There was a draft. They call it a draft, where they pick players from a pool of players.
Yeah.
So I got drafted in May 2023.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I got drafted into the pro leagues, in the Canadian Football League. So I spent that whole year just training. I'd actually saved up to go. I flew to LA, went on a open tryout, they call it in America, called a tryout, and just kicked.
Wow.
Slept in a hostel just to kind of make it work. And then, yeah, they signed me off of that. They saw me kick, and I got signed a month later in May. So
living in a hostel?
Well, I stayed in a hostel.
Yeah.
That night before the trial, but I was sort of sleeping in the back of I got a Ford Explorer, so I would drive around Colorado coaching, sleeping in the back of it, earning money, and then just making my money, saving up enough to get to LA. And then,
what when you say making your money from?
Just coaching.
Oh, okay.
Individual private coaching. Yeah.
So you've gone kick, and then you're actually teaching kicking.
Yep. Yeah, during that time as well, because I thought, going pro is a big target. If it doesn't happen, maybe I can coach the younger ones and give them an opportunity. So I created Game Day Kicking during that year. I was sat around, and I just thought, all right, I'm going to create this kicking company.
What degree did you do? Because obviously, you've gone from obviously your experience. You've done all of that transition. You're 34
at that point.
Yeah, at 34, and now you've got your own business. So obviously, you're trying to make a business. Yeah. And what's it like having a business in the States? I mean,
it's. I think it's the same as everywhere a little bit. It was easy to get started. I set it up in Colorado, and I'd already had an easy kind of, not easy, but a good plan of what I was going to do. You know, I'd already kicked in university. All I've got to do is go out there, market myself, and sort of push this individual training, and people will come. And it did take a while for people to, you know, it's word of mouth. You train one person and they say, oh yeah, go use Dean, and slowly built that up. So I have a good reputation now in Colorado for my private training. Yeah. And then obviously I banked on myself going pro a little bit, because I thought if I get to play a couple of years at professional level, that's even more validity. That makes my business even better. So yeah, luckily that happened, and then game day grew from there because I'd played professional. So then all of a sudden you got loads of people that want to work with me for an hour.
For sure.
Yeah.
It must have been, was it challenging keeping yourself in one piece? Because obviously, you know, you're not young. That's quite old to be in American football, isn't it? Ish. 34-ish. Ish.
It is.
What I'm saying is you can be in really good shape at that age, can't you? I mean, Ross, you know, we talked about it when you were on about, you know, rugby. What age are you at your prime in rugby?
Probably like 19, and then it's all downhill from there.
Come on, mate. Come on.
Probably like,
Come on, lad.
mid 20s, mid to late 20s. Definitely a young man's game. When you start getting in your 30s, you'd start feeling it. Take longer to warm up, taking more knocks, more strapping. But then where Dean sort of differs a little bit is not to like take away from what he's doing, but he is just kicking. So he's not going to necessarily be taking the impact that some of the guys are taking. He's going to have certainly opened himself up to some potential repetitive strain injuries. You know, obviously groin, knees, you know, kind of that. But would I be right in thinking that maybe the guys that are taking some of the bigger hits are not lasting as long?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Kicking definitely helps because you have a longer career. I've probably made in the CFL, I had three or four tackles. I just played a year in the Arena League. Just finished a month ago. Had 5 tackles in total, and you can have guys with over 100 in the season, 100 tackles to their name.
What's the size of them? Because obviously,
for a kicker,
no, for another position.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, another position. Kickers, yeah. It was rare that I even had 5 tackles. Yeah. Most kickers don't even try. And the coach will say, "Stay out the way."
Because what's the sort of average age of a kicker in the NFL, and then what's the sort of like oldest kicker there's been in the NFL?
Yeah, so they're still young. Like there are some in their 30s, but it's still that trend of once you cross the 30 mark, you're kind of on borrowed time at that point. But historically, like there's a kicker called Vinatieri who retired at 48, 49 as a NFL legend, won multiple Super Bowls, winning kicks. He played till he was 48, 49, and then he started to lose his power. So you can prolong it, but you just got to look after yourself. I feel like even when you get into your 30s, a lot of these kickers do struggle because it's repetitive. You know, I mean, you do get injuries, adductor injuries.
Yeah, for sure.
Groin. So
and that moves nicely onto, we could sort of weave this in a little bit. You know, you're in great shape, aren't you? I mean, for someone your age, and you know, I remember you speaking to me on many occasions about how you've developed. Because we were just talking a minute ago. You said you were like 74, 75 kilos when I first met you.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, that's an interesting story, actually. When we opened the first gym, all I can envisage is you with your top off with a chain round your chest, with a chain round your neck or something. I think that picture went a bit viral, that one.
Yeah, I got the big chains and was stood in my boxes in the old gym, just posing. Yeah, back when I was
a bit... dig that one out again.
Back when I was a bit more of a dick. I've calmed down a little bit. But
you were a bit Peter Panish, weren't you, back then?
Yeah.
He's in and out, he's in and out.
I still am. That's me. But like, to your point, like, yeah, I'm always in and out, mate. I've got better as an athlete as I got older.
Yeah.
I think when I was not 18, 19, 20, I was probably a bit gangly, a bit useless, skinny.
Yeah.
Still fit. Well, I did boxing as I was growing up. So I was fit at that age. but just had no sort of muscle, and so I've got better, and especially being a kicker, it's helped me stay healthy because I'm not getting tackled. I'm not running. Maybe if I went and run around the field, I'd probably be stuffed. I'd be
for sure.
10 minutes in, I'd be blowing. But as far as like physically, I feel better than ever. It's down to this place actually as well. A lot of the work that I've done in here.
Because obviously, you know, Dan, who was, or still is my wingman, but been an absolute rock in the gym for what years and years now. He's obviously a really good friend of yours, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And he's pretty much looked after your program for all those years as well.
Yeah.
One thing I was going to say is obviously, you know, you getting programmed by Pinnacle Performance and Dan, you know, and having this environment. Just going to the side slightly, what's it like being in the gym in America? Because obviously they've got all the gear, haven't they? What's it like being in the gym in America? You're the kicker, but then these people, excuse my ignorance, I don't understand American football in terms of size. And what I mean by that is there must be some big blokes in there.
Mm-hmm.
You're in the gym with some, you know.
You got lads that are like past 20 stone. You know what I mean? Like huge. You got lads that are huge, overweight technically, but that's their job. They're just there to be big. And in pounds, you know, they're 350-pound fellas. I don't know what that is in stone, but like you've got wide receivers.
Ross is Googling, it's fine.
There you go. You've got wide receivers and kickers who are probably at the lower end of weight.
Yeah. Right
through to them, your big defensive players who are literally man mountains. I mean, they couldn't run around the block.
Yeah.
But they're designed.
25 stone.
There you go. 300.
25 stone.
25 stone fellas. And all their job is to move a few steps, block someone, and hold them up. And that's their job, getting away. So, like,
oh wow,
the range of weights and fitness levels is
it's not like rugby in a way, where rugby mostly all of them are going up and down the field to some extent, which is incredible to move the way they move at that size. But you're saying these guys are literally just units.
Yeah, some of them aren't moving. Yeah, just mass. Don't even look like units. They just look like big. Some of them like big sumo wrestlers. You know what I mean? And just their job is they're strong, obviously. Getting in the gym, they can squat silly weight. They can push silly weight. And that's what they're just designed to do, is that 3 or 4 seconds of work, rest.
They couldn't ride their bicycle around Hampshire though, could they?
Couldn't
no, I was going to say, it must have been really tough to find people that big in America.
Yeah, not many.
No.
It's not many. They're all pretty fit.
So game day kicking. Obviously,
sorry, Ross, mate.
You know, you're making it in the American football world at your age. You're super strong. You've developed in a way and looked after your body. You're in the back of a truck doing game day kicking. And now, what's the next step for game day kicking? Where does that go?
Yeah, so I'm at the point where obviously I've still been playing recently. Technically, I'm still playing. I'm at a point where I decide, do I keep chasing this? Do I keep chasing the dream at 38? Or do I focus on the coaching and focus on long-term life? So I just finished a season in the Arena League, which is the indoor professional league in America. That was really fun. Brilliant. And I had a really good season, and I could probably keep playing. I could keep pushing it. The issue is at what point do I stop that? You know, or does the phone just stop ringing? You know, I got an agent. The phone's not ringing a lot, and it's because of my age. People go, yeah, we love what you can do, but probably an injury risk. You know, they want a 20-year-old. So I'm thinking about where game day can go further. So I'm going to focus on that a bit more. I've got some contacts in Europe. There's a European football league, which is growing. So I get lads from France and Belgium, Netherlands, going across the other side of the world, like Brazil, Australia, that reach out to me and want online coaching. Yeah. So maybe I develop that a bit more.
Because it's a huge skill, isn't it? I mean, if I look at my lads' football team, half of them can't actually really kick a ball. So I'm not saying going in there, but there's a lot you can develop, can't you, through the system?
Mm-hmm. Not everyone's going to be a quality ball striker. Some of it's natural. Yeah, I mean, no one really sat down with like Foden or Beckham was one of those who taught himself, but no one sat down and said, "Here's how you do it." They just developed that through training. So you've either got it or you haven't, but you can always improve. You know, if you're not great, you can always improve it. Especially the young kids.
Sure.
You can say, right, here's how you kick a ball and why, so you can learn why you manipulate it. No.
In kicking in American football, because in rugby, obviously the skill's the angle as well, isn't it? So in rugby, you can obviously have, depending where you do the touchdown, correct? Depends where the try, sorry, not the touchdown, sorry, the try. Depending where the try is, obviously the angle. Obviously that's a huge skill. You have to be very technical kicker as well as someone who can kick it far. How does that compare to American football?
Oh, sorry, Ross. I thought he was coming to you then. He was like, rugby. Nah. What's rugby? Like, nah. Yeah, very transferable skills, but obviously you've got to respect rugby kickers kick from all angles. Like that's tough. They've got a nicer ball to hit, like more surface area, more pop off the foot. You can use a tee, so makes it a bit easier as far as striking it. But that angle, that's tough, especially on a windy day. Yeah. When you're playing in Britain, or for example. Yeah. Whereas for American football, it's all about the same motion over and over, and you're quite central. So you might have left. They call them hashes. So you could kick from the left or right hash, but it's still quite central. Yeah. Changes the angle a bit, but it's nowhere near like the angles that rugby players have to do. So, but the difference is you've got timing to deal with in American football. So you've got the snapper, the guy throwing it. Yeah. Then someone catches it and holds it for you. Yeah. And then you've got to be in rhythm to make the kick. Whereas rugby is sort of you and the ball. Yeah. And you have your own routine. In American football, all the parts have to work together for it to work. Otherwise, you're going to miss or you're going to get blocked. You've got 6'7" lads trying to block your kick who are 7 yards away. Yeah. Whereas in general in rugby, you don't have that unless someone's charging you down. Yeah. Like that happens occasionally. We've seen that at some of the top levels. But that's the main difference.
I remember you saying about actually striking the ball, that the ball, it hurts the foot, doesn't it?
It's like kicking a rock. Like you have to get accustomed to it. It took me a few weeks when I first started learning. So after I got that offer to go play in America, I went on Amazon, bought a couple of balls and just started kicking at the rugby fields here in Fareham. And for 2 weeks, my foot was bruised, the top of it, because I'd just been kicking and kicking and kicking. And then eventually it sort of, you stop feeling it, you know, it just gets accustomed to it. So yeah, it takes a while because it's just a solid leather. It's not meant to be kicked, it's meant to be thrown. Yeah. It's designed to spiral in the air. So kicking it is a bit, very small sweet spot on the ball. So,
really?
Yeah, same as rugby a little bit. It's a little bit big on a rugby ball, but small sweet spot. And if you don't hit it, you're not getting it right. So that's where like the accuracy comes in. You've got to practice to hit that same sweet spot.
Obviously, weight helps that, doesn't it? You know, being a bigger guy, being stronger. And we talked about you being, 74, 76 kilos. What are you now? What do you sort of hang out at as a kicker?
During the season, I was 199, rocking between them.
Oh, really?
Now I'm probably 95, 96, probably. Still heavy.
Yeah.
How many Wendy's did you smash to get to that?
5 guys. Yeah.
How many?
Same time, mate.
That's funny. How many calories are you having to eat then? Like
what to get through?
Well, because honestly,
quite a lot. Yeah.
The reason why I asked that because obviously, I'm a duathlete, so triathlete world, and obviously doing a lot of endurance sport. Mine's obviously burning energy over time because going out on a ride could take 5 hours, about 1,000 calories an hour. It's about 5,000 calories I need. Plus, you need what you need to sustain for the day. That's probably 2,000 for someone like me. So in some days, I need about 7,000 calories. Going to the other end of the spectrum, big guy, rugby, what sort of calories are you having to sort of
Probably. I mean, there was a point where I was very, very high protein. It was sort of a trial period, so like very high protein and sort of cut the carbs down just to see how it affected me. So then I'm at about 3,000, 4,000, which was still tough for me to do on a high protein diet.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously, if you chuck your carbs in, you probably hit that pretty quickly.
Yeah,
so
sure.
around there it was probably 3,000 mark. But then I'm trying to hit in grams, trying to hit the same amount of grams as my body weight, trying to hit 100 grams of protein.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Was it 200 grams? Was it two? Nope, I'm confused now. So in pounds, I was about 220.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to hit that in grams of protein.
Okay, it's cool.
So that makes more sense. Yeah, I'm trying
You
to.
spent too much time in the States, mate.
Going backwards, I'm used to pounds. I don't even know what I weigh in. I'm about 15. I don't know. Making it up.
You're a big lad, mate.
Not that big. Smithy's bigger, isn't he? Built like a washing machine. Oh, he's lost a bit of weight.
That's so funny.
He's trimmed down, isn't he?
Well,
small now, isn't he? Yeah. Little
lads,
leg, big bollock.
Thank you so much for that. It was unbelievable. So we've gone from like Sholing football to American football. Sholing Football Club, to American football. Bit of game day kicking, where that's going. I'm looking forward to that, and what you decide to do with that going forward. I think there's a huge market for it in the UK, and also it'd be great to see you around the gym a bit more as well. Because you always make everybody smile, mate. You're in there.
Yeah, I dick around a bit too much now, but no, I like being here. It's nice to be back, get back into training mode. It's a nice, normal gym. It's Big Mick over there. I've missed him. Michael, for our viewers. Yeah, I miss Big Mick. He's a good lad. But yeah, no, be nice to come back and see where game day can go, because it might not just be American football. You can go across our football and rugby and just work at ball striking.
Yeah, for sure.
And we'll see. It might be sustainable in the long term, hopefully.
Yeah.
And whole of Europe.
Well, from myself, Ross.
I'll say something.
Yeah, I'm still here. Hopefully I'll have a bit more of a talking part next week. Well, a bit of an extra today, but it's all right. It's all about you, isn't it? This podcast, apparently.
Thanks very much, Ross. You were integral to this podcast.
He was.
Cheers, guys.
And
no worries.
Dean, thank you so much. He's going.
He's off.
Thanks a lot, everyone.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate it.